This is Kathy Biehl of EmpowermentUnlimited.net with Astro-Insight for the week of February 8, 2021. Take note of where your thoughts go this week. Take note of what runs through your mind. Take note of what you find yourself returning to again and again, what your heart is yearning for, what clues and information pop up from the past, and especially what people, what snarls, what breakdowns, what complications, what irritating drivers, and technology weirdness, what all of that does for you, because it's information about where you're heading. And it will color your mindset, which will affect where you're heading. This is the week that we go through the portal. This is the week when life really does change. There may be an element of consciously walking through the portal. There may be an element of consciously throwing things through it and running after it. But really, it's going to be more like being transported, like in the original Star Trek series. The sky has an extraordinary number of bodies in Aquarius, and this week they circle around the new moon in Aquarius like a bunch of people on a dance floor, making a gigantic circle and encouraging the body in the middle to just go for it. The new moon on the 11th launches a powerful new phase, and it's also the demarcation of the Chinese Lunar New Year, which is the year of the ox, an animal, interestingly, associated with Taurus, which is where the ruler of Aquarius, Uranus, is currently residing, and all the bodies in Aquarius are making activating contacts with him as they move through his sign. If you know your birth chart, pay attention to where Aquarius is. If you don't know it, but you know your time, you can order one from the chart services page on my site for free. And if you don't know your time or your chart, put your sun sign on the first house and then look for the house where Aquarius falls. This is the area of life on which you are building the stage for the new construct that's coming into being for you. You're getting a lot of information about it from Mercury retrograde, and at the start of the week, you unify with that information. You learn something really big about yourself with the Sun meeting Mercury retrograde. It's not entirely comfortable. There's an element here of coming to grips with or being confronted by some way in which you have been living in a fantasy land or deluding yourself. There is a call here to be kind to yourself, to be forgiving to yourself, to be compassionate to yourself, and also own up to what you have bought into that may not actually be real or true. What you learn, what you assimilate, is leading to action. Big, tangible, real-world action. Mercury retrograde squares Mars on the 10th, which could bring expressions of anger, expressions of frustration, demands to walk your talk, messages, information, or insights that force you to take an innovative approach, do something differently, particularly involving money or creativity. This is all the lead up to the Aquarius new moon on the 11th, which has a gorgeous energy. Venus, ruler of everything we desire, and Jupiter, the guy with the golden touch, exactly conjunct in Aquarius on this new moon, imbuing it with optimism and possibilities and love and appreciation for our friends, even if we're not physically with them. You are building a vision for your future. You are building a traveling pack for your future, building networks, teaming with like-hearted people to create a community that you want to live in. You may be setting up a virtual commune, a virtual creative community. What's more important, though, is what you are envisioning for yourself, where you are orienting your life and your dreams and your heart and your creativity. Some of you may remember the phrase, "let your freak flag fly." It's time to display your uniqueness, your idiosyncrasies, your distinctive personality and creativity and flair. Some of you may also remember the phrase, if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem, which I heard recently from an Australian intuitive named Lena Rodriguez. You're building solutions. You're building new constructs. You're building new ways of going about things. Pay attention to what your brain is doing, what is cycling through it, what information sources you are exposing yourself to, participating in, contributing to. A major clue of great importance may fall into your head, may simply appear in your heart by the 13th when retrograde Mercury meets Venus. This occurs on the on-ramp to Valentine's Day, which promises to be extraordinarily different this year. It's going to be more of a friendship appreciation day, friendship celebration day. Around the 13th, communications are probable with people who are extraordinarily important to you and especially for your future. There are ways you can actively, tangibly be of service to them. There's an interesting concept, being of service to your friends. Friendship is a religion to Aquarius, and Mars in ever so earthbound Taurus is opening a doorway to the loving, gentle, inspired, creative, and compassionate tendencies of Neptune. These two aspects occurring together are an incredible assist for creative productivity, for group activity, for bringing loving kindness into your world, from which you can radiate out. The development does push us out of comfort zones. The sun is in a growth aspect to Pluto, keeper of secrets, lord of the underworld, and of regeneration. We're responding differently, we're behaving differently, we're taking bolder and actually more self-empowered action than we probably have at any other point in our lives. We have to be honest with ourselves. We have great awareness on tap of what is most important to us, of our re-evaluated bottom line, of our significantly shortened list of priorities. Now we're building the grid work for a new way of being, a different way of being, a way of being that starts from our own individuality, our own uniqueness, and our own merry band of fellow pranksters. Watch your concept of what's possible soar by the weekend as Mercury retrograde meets expansive Jupiter. We'll be chatting like crazy on the phone, to some extent face-to-face, and of course all over social media and texts. Use whatever you hear, whatever you read, whatever you see as data, and definitely share your own vision with the people that you care about and with the communities that you're building. And I have a number of resources that will help you do this, which I will mention after the regularly scheduled closing items. Homing Thought of the Week, expand my vision of what's possible. Song of the Week, Better Days by Ant Clemens and Justin Timberlake. And Image of the Week, Greeting the Sunrise with Your Arms Wide Open. Okay, here are the promised resources. First, I'm doing a Facebook Live about the energies of the Chinese Lunar New Year and the Aquarius New Moon on Thursday, February 11th at 5 p.m. Eastern Time with The Intuitive Interior, a.k.a. Beverly Biehl, no relation that we know. Look for information about the live in the description box, and if you miss it, look for it later on my YouTube channel or on the Empowerment Unlimited page on Facebook. Second, since this new moon is setting the tone for, years, you may find it really useful to intentionally greet the new moon and set some intentions for what you would like to plant and develop If you need any tips for how you might do this, you'll find them in a course I have at Learn It Live called Working with the Moon. And again, look for the links below. And of course, there'll be lots more information about the new moon in the forecast for it, which will be up early in the week at my site, empowermentunlimited.net, where you can sign up for my mailing list and book a session with me. I'm Kathy Biehl, a professional astrologer with more than 30 years' experience. I host lively conversation on Facebook at Empowerment Unlimited in the group The Astro-Insight Lounge. Lots of bonus content at patreon.com/Kathy Biehl, and I am really, really grateful to the tribe that is supporting my work there. I post on Instagram at @KABiehl and on the Professional Aquarian YouTube channel. Talk to you next week.